What's cracking, cousin? It's your favorite cousin, Ken here at the Lighthouse ATL. This is the Divine Feminine Headquarters, and yes, this is your favorite cousin, Ken from the YouTube channel, Can Be the Light. I know many of you are like, Ken, where you been? What's been going on? Well, I took 3 years off from work to work on myself. So no relationship, no job, no business, no nothing. Just strictly working on myself. And I have been guided to come back and help a powerful community of women that are deciding to do the same thing. No longer working hard, releasing all toxicity from your life, and connecting to your true divine feminine identity. I will be here every week, every Monday, with spiritual guidance for you ladies. I'm so excited to work with you, and congratulations to the new you. Hey cousin, it's your favorite cousin Ken here at the Lighthouse ATL. Okay, ladies, so today we are going to be talking about relationships once again. I don't know, y'all, just the relationships just keep coming up. So I have been taking into account all of your requests and everything that you have been sharing with me about the podcast, and I have been getting all of your requests. So thank you so much for sharing all of the topics. And I know that a lot of times as women, our relationships are so very important. So a lot of you want to know about relationships, and it's good. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Y'all know that I'm more focused on healing myself and working on myself, but I understand that a lot of women out there, you're still in that stage of dating and being in relationships and things like that. So let's talk about it, okay? So one of our cousins has an issue, not really an issue, I don't want to call it an issue, but they have a question about dating someone that is not spiritual. So our cousin is dealing with somebody that is very religious. And when I say religious, I mean, look, I don't want to call it a cult. I'm not calling religion a cult. I'm not calling it a cult. But they are religious, and our cousin is more spiritual. So, when it comes to spirituality, it's more about the flow, following divine guidance, and it's not really scripted. There's no book, there's no teacher normally to teach you about spirituality. You just follow spirit, and spirit will guide your guides to you, whether it's in the spiritual realm or in the physical realm. So it's very different from people who are religious, because in religion, normally you have a person that is the leader, and they're teaching and preaching and telling you which direction to go and what you should do and how you should live. And based off of what they tell you, you follow it, and your life ends up a certain way based off of what you listen to from that person, the messenger, whatever messenger you listen to. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Religions are all the same. Same God, different name. But when it comes to spirituality, it's the same concept of having just one God, but there is no messenger in between you and the source other than the Christ consciousness, because we all know that the Christ consciousness is love energy, and that is what we connect to when we are on our spiritual path, or that is our goal, is to connect to that Christ consciousness, that boldness, the righteousness, and all of that within ourselves. So we become the living Christ by following the guidance within. So it's very different from people who have a very structured way of learning about spirituality or learning about God, because it really doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So if you are burning sage, or you have crystals, and you have all these different things that you have going on in your life, to a religious person, it could look like it's witchcraft, it's demonic, it's, not a good thing, it's terrible, whatever it is. because they don't necessarily understand that world. It's very different. But I see that a lot of religious people nowadays are more spiritual or incorporating spiritual practices. And I love that. I love that because that shows that everybody is not so structured and so dead set into what they believe. Because to be completely honest, most people, whatever religion they are that religion or a part of that religion because of their parents. Just like me, I was born a Christian. So my parents are Christian and I have a Christian foundation. And I always say, you keep your foundation. So I keep my Christian foundation. I read my Bible. I still believe that there's a lot of truth in the Bible, but I'm not the type of person that can fit into any category or into any religion because I'm a spiritual person. So I do things that are not necessarily Christian. So then Christians will say, well, you can't do that, so you don't fit in here. What do you say? You can't sit here? Yeah. Or, she said, you can't sit here? Yeah, I can't sit nowhere. So it's fine with me. And if you're a spiritual person, you know exactly what I'm saying. Like, you can't go anywhere and fit in. And I believe that that's because we're not supposed to fit in. As spiritual women and men, if you're listening out there too, we're not supposed to fit in. We are supposed to be the light in the world, or be that salt in the world, the spice and the flavor of the world, to bring the truth. Because if everybody is doing things the same way all the time, then nothing changes. Somebody has to come in with that Christ consciousness, okay? With that Christ voice and speak the truth. And realistically, religious people, they don't like that radical truth. They don't. They didn't like it when Christ did it. They ain't gonna like it if you out there doing it. And in a relationship, if you are dealing with somebody that is very religious and you start speaking truth, certain truths, they may not like you. I'm just going to be completely honest. But for our cousin is deciding to try to make things work with this person. So then they have to put their spiritual practice to the side, or do it whenever they can, so that they don't cause a conflict between their partner in their home. And it's tough. It is very tough. For me, I could not live that type of life because I am a spiritually connected woman. So whatever I'm guided to do will always come first above any relationship. I don't care who it is, my mama, daddy, children, whoever, it doesn't matter. I am connected to the source. And so whatever I'm guided to do, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And that normally is what's best for everybody. But I'm not going to be quiet or silent or not do what I'm guided to do just to please somebody else. I'm not going to do that. So I understand if you're in a relationship and you don't want to end the relationship, why, like our cousin, why you would say, okay, I'll put my spiritual practice to the side, not necessarily to the side, but I just will do it on my own time. I'll do my own thing on my own time. But I just kind of think that's unfair. I understand it, but I just think it's unfair because for this particular person, it's like their partner can do their religious practice and they can be very open and vocal about their spiritual beliefs and their religion, and they ganging and banging on they set or whatever with their religion, because that's all religion is. It's a gang. Really, it is. It's just different gangs. Like, which one you from? What set you claim? Because which one you in? Okay. But with their partner can do their religious practice, and the children and everything can be a part of their religion. But when it comes to the spiritual aspect of what our cousin does, it's like, no, we can't get involved in that. We can't talk about that. We can't introduce that to our children and stuff like that. It's just, to me, I just think it's unfair. Y'all let me know. What do y'all think? Would you, as a spiritual person, put your spirituality and your spiritual practice to the side in order to make your relationship work? Do you feel like that is healthy? Do you feel like that's the best thing to do, especially if you have children with this person? Do you feel like that's the best thing to do to make sure that your family stays together? Y'all let me know what y'all think. I don't know if I could. I really don't, because I'm saying this from experience, of course. Y'all know I don't get my information from books. I get my information from experience and from spirit, period. So in my past, y'all know I was in a relationship for a long time. In all of my 20s, I was mommy. All right. So when you supposed to be out partying, clubbing, and having a good time, I was in a relationship. So I know what it's like to put your life on the side for other people, for my children, for my relationship, and just really focus on being the best mother that I can be, or the best mother that I knew how to be, and the best partner that I can be for my man at the time. So I know what it's like to just put your life on hold, especially as women. A lot of times we are the one to sacrifice ourselves for the relationship, because you want to do what's best for your family. So you do whatever you have to do. But I also know what it's like to leave a situation and choose yourself. And I know the freedom that comes from doing that. Because when you leave a situation that is not serving you, man, it just feels so good. I'm telling you. It's like you just get this power. Like you can just do anything. You feel like you can do anything, and you can. Especially if you have stayed in a relationship for so long and you try to make the relationship work, and then you finally decide to walk away. At first, it's bumpy. It is bumpy at first. Those first couple of years is bumpy. You're trying to figure it out. You know, you're going through your feelings. You're replaying the relationship, what happened, this and that, what you should have did, what you could have did, and all that. But once you get over that bump, it's up. I'm trying to tell you, it's up. And my life changed so much. And I'm just talking about myself because I, again, speak from experience. My life changed so fast when I decided to choose myself. And this is the reason why I always have to choose myself. I don't think I can sleep at night knowing that I do things for other people, but it's not true to myself. It's not true to what I want to do. I couldn't sleep at night. I just could not do it. That's just me personally. And I know that for some people, you may even be in a situation right now where you feel like, look, I want to choose myself, but I can't because of the children, or because of my partner, or because of whatever, my job or whatever. But I'm letting you know that anytime you want to make a move, listen, you can make a move whenever you want to, but only you have the choice to make. It's your choice. Nobody else is going to make that choice for you. And I'm not going to tell you to stay with a person or to leave the person. You know, because your soul is always telling you. I always tell y'all, the soul is the GPS, right? That's what we learned. The soul is the GPS. So when the soul is not happy, ain't nobody in your life gonna be happy. I always say that. Ain't nobody gonna be happy. I don't care who it is that you're trying to please. If your soul is not satisfied, then you ain't gonna be satisfied. I don't care who you're trying to be with. They're not gonna be satisfied. It's just not gonna flow, because the soul is always guiding us towards a greater connection to spirit, to our spirit within, which is a connection to God. And when you connect to God, when you connect to the source, baby, God will tell you to let go of everything. You hear me? Everything. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know, and I'm telling you what I have done, and I am doing right now, and what I will continue to do for the rest of my life. Because whatever God asks me to release, I will release it, because I know that it's for the greater good. And when we release things that do not serve us, it's for the greater good. It's not just about you. Your life cannot just be about what you want. So if you want to be in the relationship, you can stay in the relationship. But if you're not satisfied, then at least you know why. And so you have to ask yourself, like, is it worth it to stay on a job or in a relationship or doing anything that you know on a soul level, you just know it's not serving you. It hurts you more to stay than it would to leave. Because I always say, like, it's going to hurt you to leave, but at least you know you're making progress. Just like if you rip off a Band-Aid, it's going to hurt you for a minute, but at least you know that you can begin the healing process. But if you just keep that Band-Aid on there, it's going to be an issue. That's going to cause a big problem. So, pain to leave, sometimes it's worth it. I ain't going to say sometimes. It's always worth it for you to. I ain't telling you what to do, though. Listen, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I would do, because I have to practice what I preach. So therefore, if I say that it's better to release what doesn't serve you, that's because I've done it. I've done it several times to the point to where it hurts me. It hurts me. Even with like family and friends and everything, even my religion. I grew up Christian and I had to go through a whole thing, cousin. Whereas when I started reading tarot cards, I really felt like I was doing something wrong, but it felt so right. It felt so right, but I felt like it was wrong at the same time because of how I grew up and what I was conditioned to believe. But it was helping so many people, and I know that it helped me. And I know that it changed my life. Like, working with the spirits at that time, it changed my life. Literally. And I'm not telling nobody to go out there and read tarot, because, sidebar, I'm going to tell you this. Don't start picking up tarot cards and reading tarot cards unless you know what you're doing first. All right? Know what you're doing first. I know it's trendy. I know a lot of people are doing it. But make sure that that is your path to do that first. That was my path. I needed to go down that path. So that was for me. I'm not telling nobody else what to do, but I'm saying all that to say this. I did something that nobody in my family ever did. I did something when I started reading tarot. I was doing something that people in my family, not most of my family, because most of my family is cool with it, but there's certain people in my family that felt like, they were afraid for me. like they even asked my mom, like, are you aware of what your daughter is doing? Do you know what she's doing? Do you know that she can go to HELL for that and all this other type of stuff? And my mom was like, well, I think she'll be all right. Like, my mom, she was cool with it, Once I explained it to her, and once I actually started helping her with her situation, you see what I'm saying? So people don't always have to understand it. It doesn't have to always make sense why you do what you do. And people can say whatever they're going to say. Because the last time I checked, they said the same thing about Christ too. They said that he was, some wizard, a warlock or whatever too. And even took his life because he stood on what he believed, but he had the power. He just had the power to do what it is that he did, and he didn't back down from it. And if we are going to be carrying this light, then we have to be 100% in on this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that we fall in love and we're in these relationships and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you have to pick a side. Either you're going to be all in. When it comes to spirituality, you got to be all in or you got to be out. And that's why a lot of people, when it comes to being on this spiritual path, they don't make it out. They don't make it out on the other side. They don't make it to the light because they want to have one foot into the spiritual realm, but they want to have one foot in the world. And you can't do that. You just can't do it. Now, I'm not against nobody religious beliefs, whatever they believe, that's what you believe. But being on the spiritual path and being on the religious path, that's polar opposites. It's polar opposites. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're evolving spiritually, because that's what your spiritual practice is all about. You evolving spiritually. You evolving as a soul, connecting to your spirit, which is source, so that you can fulfill your mission and your purpose in life. That's the whole gist, okay? That's what it's all about when it comes to spirituality. Religion is just basically going to give you an outline so that you can live a decent life here in this realm. That's what it's about. Now, maybe you may learn about your purpose or whatever, but most of the time religion is just, it's your instructions to make it through life. But when it comes to spirituality, it's more about your spirit and your everlasting life. Not just your life here in the physical, but your everlasting life, which means your past, your present, and your future. And evolving as a soul so that in your next life, you will continue to evolve and you will continue to grow and you will continue to be more and more connected to source. But when you're dating somebody or you're in a relationship with somebody and they don't understand that, they want you to do what they do because that makes them comfortable. That's tough. That is tough. I get it. I understand it. But at the end of the day, you have to choose. You got to make a choice. And that's all we're here to do. Y'all hear me say it all the time. We're only here to make observations and to make adjustments. So you make observations and you make adjustments. But when you decide that you want to stay in a relationship, not just a romantic relationship, I'm talking about friends, family, whatever it is. If you stay in a relationship and you decide that, you know what, I'm not going to make a choice here. I'm not going to make an adjustment. I'm just going to just coast with this, because if I try to make an adjustment here, this is going to cause an issue. This is going to cause an argument. This is going to cause people to say this. This is going to cause this or that. Then not making a choice is making a choice when it comes to God. I'm just telling you about the God that I know. If you don't make a choice when you know you need to make a choice, that's a choice. And a lot of times what people will do is say, you know what, I just don't want to deal with it at all. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to deal with it. So then they don't have to make a choice. But God wants it all. The God that I know, the spirit of all, yeah, you got to give it all up. You got to give it all up to walk with God, because God is the Most High, and there will be nothing that comes before God. Nothing. The spirit of all life that can give you life and take it away, that can give you everything, that is your creator and your source. If God say give up your firstborn like they did in the Bible, look, you got to be willing to do what you got to do. I don't know, but I don't think that God will do anything like that. But I do feel like we are called to release. We are called to release. So it may not be like a sacrifice, like you're sacrificing like a child, like in the Bible, but it may be something like if your child is ready to be on their own, you'll be called to let them go. Even if you know that the direction that they're going may not be the best, you may be called to let them go. And God and Spirit might guide you and tell you to let that go. And that's your choice, either to hold on to let go. And it's the same like in a relationship. In a relationship, you can know, okay, this relationship is over. Are you willing to let it go, or you want to stay in it? That's a choice. Now you either make the adjustment or you don't. But the thing is, what I know about spirit to be true is it's not going to change. We can go around the world and we can do whatever we want to do, and we can do all these other good things over here and this and that. But at the end of the day, that thing that God said to do, you're going to always have to do that thing, regardless if you do it or not. So whatever it is that Spirit guides you to release, it's always better to release, if you ask my opinion. But I also understand why people stay in relationships, because like I said, I've done it. But at this stage in the game for me, when it comes to my spiritual beliefs and who I am as a person, I don't know if I can do that. I would have to be with somebody who is in sync with me. It would have to just work. We would both have to understand spirituality and respect and have this connection for God and put God first, like on a for real level, you know. And that's difficult to find. It really is. But I don't know, cousin. Y'all let me know. I know we are spiritual women, and everybody has their different walk, you know. It doesn't matter if you're a religious person or a spiritual person or whatever it is that you believe. Would you date somebody else or marry somebody else or be in a relationship with somebody else that has a different belief from you? And if so, if your partner has an issue with your belief, would you put your belief to the side in order to stay in that relationship? I'm not going to say what I was. I know it sounds crazy. I know. But it's real. And there's a lot of people who are dealing with that. Especially nowadays, because we're all waking up. We all are waking up. Like Spirit is calling us forward. Like Spirit saying, you know, those who I have created to change the world, wake up, come on out, come out the world, come on, you know, we're all getting called out, right? So if we're all getting called out, then that means that the way that we used to be now is starting to kind of conflict with the new us, who we are now. And if you're already in a relationship with somebody, they can know you one way. And then you start to have these spiritual practices. You start to go more towards, you know, a spiritual lifestyle. And not a person looking at you like you done lost your mind. Because why you not going to church no more? Or why you not doing this and that no more? And you just like, man, I don't necessarily feel like I want to go. Oh boy. This is a tough one, cousin. This is a tough one. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I told y'all what I think. I told y'all my opinion and everything already. I would love to hear how you ladies feel out there. Men, if y'all listen, y'all can chime in. Let me know. Would you do it? Would you sacrifice your beliefs for your partner? And I will see you ladies next Monday, or I will talk to you ladies next Monday. I love you. Bye. Hey cousin, if you're interested in joining our powerful community of women supporting each other through our healing and transformation journey, make sure that you look for the Lighthouse ATL on all social media platforms. YouTube, TikTok, not on Instagram, but Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere else. Look for the Lighthouse ATL, okay? You do not have to do it on your own. We are done with these solo dolo missions, okay? We're going to work together. We are going to heal together. We're going to cry together. We're going to laugh together. We're going to travel together. Listen, join our level up movement, and I will see you soon. Bye.